yes, what a day that we have got, Jay. I'm all merched up, baby.
Decked out, man.
I'm all merched up. I'm not biased by any means, but I'm loving what I got here. I got a scarf, I got a t-shirt, I got a foam finger. You want the foam finger?
No, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good.
Put it on for a second.
All right, I'll put it on for a second. All right, just for a second.
There you go.
All right, we're feeling good.
Feels good, doesn't it? All right,
like
let's get into this game. Okay, we're gonna. It's getting a little bit. It's gonna get spicy.
It's
gonna get spicy in this one, folks. But no, obviously Toronto Ultra facing off against the LA Thieves. Jay, who would have thought that we would be in this position on Championship Sunday? There were plenty of claims to talk about how both of these teams would not be here. Yet here they are.
Toronto Ultra just handled business yesterday. 2 back-to-back 3-0s in both of their series. And then on the opposite side, LA Thieves hit the hard regain after that series versus Atlanta FaZe. They get 3-0'd. 45 minutes later, they have to play against OpTic Texas. They lose that map number 1, but the biggest thing that I took away is that they showed fight. If they would have got a 100-point club there, they would have eventually closed out that series probably in the 3-0. But today is the day. Championship Sunday. You have to start off hot for both of these squads.
Yeah, without question, you have got to. And here are our maps and modes. Tuscan Hardpoint to kick this series off. We've got the triple Berlins, which is very common when it comes down to both of these franchises. And at the very end, if it does go the distance, it would be a Desert Siege Search Destroy. Jay, your initial thoughts on this array of 5 maps, and more specifically, our first one?
I love the first map because obviously it's not been a better record for Toronto Ultra, sitting overall at 5-10, and for LA Thieves 9-5. But the Thieves are on currently a 3-game loss streak on this map, and the way that Toronto Ultra have been playing, their teamwork is out of this world. They just need to make sure they're doing the same exact thing that they did yesterday. Non-stop communication, make sure that they're trading efficiently. And on the opposite side for the Thieves, when they start using teamwork, that's when they start to have that comeback. So this is going to be a straight teamwork battle between both of these squads.
It is, man. It is going to be a blast. You already hear the chants, and get used to them. They've only just begun. Let's go and take a look at our Hardpoint top performers before we get into this one. As we said, the crowd is getting loud. A sea of white and purple spread throughout the venue. Toronto have traveled well to their own home series. And here we have it, the 2 players to look out for either side. On one, it is Insight sporting a nice little 1.02. On the other side, it's the Alaskan Assassin.
Yeah, Jaws has been their most consistent player. Obviously, moving to that flex role, he's a lot more comfortable with that AR in his hands. And then the opposite side, Insight, he's really just turned it around for me in Respawn. Turning up so far at this major, I'm pretty sure he's sitting 3rd overall in KD at a 1.2. He's been a man on the mission. You even heard Ali say it, #1 overall S&D KD at a 2.4. The guy is basically like 3 players on the map.
And it just feels like, I mean, we've talked about it a ton on broadcast ever since that edition where Scrappy comes into the team. Obviously, we saw Insight. He had, a few issues. I think he was like sick off of having bad food or something like that. Not exactly sure. He comes back into the team, and from that point on, Toronto have looked different. But here we go, Tuscan Hardpoint to kick off this series. LA Thieves versus the Toronto Ultra. Toronto, I'm gonna need you to make some noise. Here we go.
Before the map even starts, you can see the average ticks right there. Currently for Toronto, 2nd in hold percentage compared to LAT, we're 10th. But #1 on the side of LAT in that break-in percentage. So they have to make sure that their setups are going to be held strong. See the stats right there for the Ultra as well. The AR is really stepping up so far. We know what Cammy does as well. 1.14. But here we go, Toronto. Ultra trying to make it to a final. It starts here.
It starts here, and it starts now, and we are into it. Bance will strike with the first blood, and Insight quickly with the other one. LA Thieves are gonna reply just like that. But Jack, I feel like this series ultimately, man, it's gonna come a lot down to confidence. Toronto having that crowd behind them, they feel different. I've had the chance to interview a few of the players, and they've talked about it. I've been waiting for this moment for years. Bryce had a chance to interview Kenny the other day, and he said, hey, it comes down to confidence with us. That is the the biggest priority for us in every match that we go into.
And so far for at least the Thieves, answering early on this P1 hardpoint. It's usually their most dominant hardpoint on this map. They're outscoring their opponents by 17 points. They're going to be able to at least get 40 seconds off the rip, and they flip those spawns. Octane and Draza. So the players finding that 2-piece to at least start off the rotation with a full setup at P2. You see the pinch though from Ultra. They have multiple different angles trying to attack this from bottom church and from top flat.
Great start as well for Kenny, 4-1. Had a phenomenal series versus OpTic Texas. His best series arguably of the year, especially since that role change has come on through. But how about Toronto storming through the column? CleanX helping lead the way. A few shots missed, but Bance, the other SMG, right on the return. Nades actually come on through, and it's an unfortunate team kill there for Thieves.
Now the spawns do flip, so now if you're Ultra, you want to try to at least get a good chunk of time off of this and not give it all up to LA, but Envoy with 2, Octane with the 3rd. That's going to be all 4 dead. Now this is going to force Ultra off the rotation early. LA Thieves, you can just tell, total different game plan today. Guns are hot.
And that's the one scariest part about this LA Thieves TJ is the fact that they are here and they have not won an opening hardpoint so far throughout the major. The fact that they are here, and we talked about it, how often they have relied on that game 1, that opener. If they start to take it, what would that do? Considering how Search and Destroy has looked that much better, a solid advantage to kick this one off, but it's Toronto hunkering down now at the Fountain Plaza and doing a great job in the opening start.
Second in hold percentage, you see the setup that they have. 1 player towards top fire, watching middle, 1 player towards field. And Kenny and Draza able to open up that field side. Now all out attack from the Thieves from field. Draza puts pressure onto the back, but Bance and Cammy combine for 2. They're going to secure the spawn. Last player is going to be Envoy. The trade should be in, but he actually does find a 2-piece. That's going to at least stall some time for his teammates to try to get back into the play, but Ultra still hold.
Oh, and a great job from CleanX. Octane eventually there to take him down. Thieves still toying with the idea of trying to go for the hit. Nice little nade. Tossed out from Envoy from afar, but the time looks to go the way of Ultra, and now it is a race over towards the church. Thieves have got that spawn towards their back. Now it's just about making Toronto's life that much more difficult. A great start right now for Envoy. He has struggled so far in hardpoint throughout the major, but a great start here. Eventually does get wiped away. Draza trying to cut down the front from Toronto as they've got 2 strong headed toward the back.
Yeah, they're trying to set up this pinch. You see Bance and CleanX trying to work through that field side. Fortunately, Bance gets taken down by Kenny, but look at number 2 in Cammy. A huge 1-on-1 versus Draza in the back end. Unfortunately, Draza with the reposition is now going to slow down the positioning of Cammy. All out attack coming in from field. CleanX opens up with the first. The trade should be here. As back and forth we go. Ultra. Last player here is going to be Envoy, and they successfully break in.
Everybody's wheeling and dealing, but a great little moment there for Toronto, and a lot of it starts off with the play from Cammy. But he's able to sneak back here and stay alive is everything. A great little stun just to weaken LAT as they are 3 strong right now through the field, but it's Cammy on the flank. Octane handles business, but it's Bance on the return. Trades back and forth. A race now toward P5 as LAT have reached the century mark.
Yeah, Kenny's going to be here first. Huge gun fighting towards bottom column. Insight just trying to stall time for his teammates to get into the play. Cammy does find 1 on the outside. So now in the 2v2, CleanX and Cammy have to combine for every single kill. That's going to be 2. Last player up is Envoy. And once again, a huge 2-piece from Envoy to secure the rotation for his team. They're getting early time.
Oh, but a great double comes in from Bance, the roar of the crowd, the approval from Toronto's finest, but an unfortunate teammate comes in from CleanX. Ultra are still trying to hold from the front. This is an HPJ where historically they have not been great at LAT with the early time. And despite the team nade, Toronto come roaring back. A great 20 seconds available, and well, majority of the Thieves are thinking about that next rotation for P1.
Yeah, because that P1 is their money hill. They're not going to try to attack this and have left players off that rotation. It's Cammy currently on a 2 spree. He's trying to at least set himself up, potentially set up a pinch, but takes down Envoy. Now they have the man advantage off the rotation. All out attack through the middle of the map. Octane does find 1, but the trades are in. Cammy on a 4 spree. They're going to be able to break it on and win the rotation battle.
A neck-and-neck game so far through the first set of rotations, and a big battle going down right now at P1. Let's step aside and see how the comms are sounding with the LA Thieves.
Watch out. With me. Stay down. Look at you again. I'll get to you. I have it now. Good job. I'm here. I'm one shot, man. He can push through. Top blue out mid.
Great little check-in there with the LA Thieves. They get some time at P1. Most importantly, they cut down Cammy off of that 6 spree. However, let's transition and now go to a listen with Toronto.
Let's even plant. Plant down.
We could be green.
Absolutely plant. Plant. How many time?
Close left, left side time, left side time.
Plant down.
Behind the
Let's see plant.
Plant. Nice. OpTic there as well. OpTic plant. One back shot.
Nice.
Back shot. One shot.
Nice. Good fucking shit. I spawned. Still spawned back.
Yeah, what's the
I have your help.
Cross. Yeah, I'm laying down.
One might
Go back.
Yeah, one might figure
One absolute ramp. One truck. Absolute ramp.
truck. No, on the truck. Draza. He's gone out. Yeah.
Two.
I'm going right.
Let's hold right. The big rotation. Let's hold right. They're going to probably push that, okay? Yeah, I'm I'll move you on the right camp.
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna go right.
Let me over you. Look at me right now.
Yeah.
I'm backing up, Jimmy, okay?
Right.
Keep on mid.
Top church. Absolute top church. I hit two.
Yeah.
My helmet.
Yeah,
I'm holding the angle on P5.
Energy on both sides of those comms. It's usually when we jump into a listening with both squads, they usually sound like they have their feet kicked up, but the hype is here. They know that they are playing for a championship today, as Ultra are going to be able to retake this lead. You see the pressure though, it's all going to be on CleanX. He does find the first. He's going to at least allow his teammates to get into play, but Kenny with that two-piece is going to now break open that middle of the map. You have to win these gunfights, and Envoy comes out on top.
He frees things up. The rest of the teammates are happy to hop right inside of the objective. Draza continuing to fry. Great little moment. It's the snake pit somewhat set up right now for the Thieves in Toronto. Looking for a moment to strike, looking for an opportunity to break right back on through. It's inside. It is CleanX, but more specifically, it is Kenny. 15 valuable points, and Kylo Ken does not want to give this one up for free, and that decision looks to be made for him. Rotation is now going to be set in. Thieves with the final few. And now we head in toward Church, what could be the defining HP of this map. Ultra, it's got to be a stronghold, Jay.
It's got to be a stronghold, and it starts with Cammy. You can find this kill. The player's trying to attack the back, but unfortunately he gets taken down with 3 down. It's all going to be on CleanX, the last player up, and that is going to be an instant break from LA. Beautiful push from that right side of the map to at least solo out Cammy towards the back. And when you have your teammates pinching in, they win their gunfights. Now a successful break with Toronto Ultra all spawning out towards field, but Insight and CleanX combined for 2. Now you have the man advantage, you have to play the trades, and that's going to be a break.
Great little break there for Toronto. Trying to mine this hill for all of its resources. A great little opportunity for Ultra to regain a little bit of confidence. Insight holding true toward the outside of the field. A neck-and-neck game, to put it lightly. Blows exchanged either direction, but LFT, they spawn right up where CleanX was going. Thankfully, if you are the Thieves, you get out of that one somewhat unscathed, as they are going to have the man advantage now loading into that command center.
So you see Insight, the only player at least sitting towards this top roof side. He does find that opening 2-piece. This is now going to open up that pinch coming in from the back. Envoy, he does find a kill on the CleanX, but now Envoy, the only player up. He does find 2. Draza with some assistance as well, but a 2v2 in the hill. Cammy on a forestry before he gets taken down. CleanX does not find the trade, and so far this hill has been scrappy.
It's been scrappy. It's really just a matter of, can someone get an advantage, and more specifically, who is going to lead that P1 rotation? But how about the plays out of Winsight?
They still win here.
Comes through with the big double, and that's right. They can win it here. Thieves have got to try and contest. Draws it with the first Bance. Looking toward the bottom, prepared for the flank. Drops Octane not too much farther. Are Toronto, but Thieves right here knocking at the door.
We got to rotate now if you're Ultra. A 2v2, huge gunfights are going to go down across the map. They do spot Kenny in towards middle, but Cammy does take down 1. The only player for LA team, they're going to have 2 players attacking from that tree side, but a big win comes in from Insight. Cammy with another 2-piece on another 4-speed. The only player up is Octane. He gets taken down and 10 seconds away from Ultra taking map 1.
Cammy is taking over the game, and CleanX, CleanX comes through with 2. A few more points before this one is done and dusted, and Bance will put them away.
And right there, it just came down to that P5 hill. When it was going back and forth, Toronto able to win a majority of those gunfights. And then even before then, that P4 was so massive. LA Thieves were able to find 3 kills right off the rip, successfully break it. And with all of Ultra spawning towards that field side, they win every single gunfight and were able to get about 40 seconds of that time. Great work from them to take the lead there, but then to keep that P5 scrappy, that's usually a hill where they do not find a lot of success. They're getting outscored by 15 points there, but they come out on top there and then win huge engagements off the rotation. Cammy goes massive, 29 and 20, 20 non-traded kills. How many 4 and 5 sprees did we see him go on towards the later half of that game? Insane stuff from Ultra to clutch up towards the very end and now put themselves up 1-0.
Just, it feels like Cold War Cammy again, man. It feels like
on fire,
Cold War
man.
Insight. It just feels like Toronto is figuring out in Vanguard the same things that they figured out in last year's title. And like you said, it comes down to that P5, but it also comes down to that rotation as we head back into P1. There is that moment, right, where Kenny sees 2 going into you, and it's the coordination out of Toronto that is staggering. And moments like that, what do we credit them for most in last year's title? It was their success and their ability to remain stable in such wild situations, and it was on display there as well, Jay. An incredible comeback once more for Toronto, and you can mark it 11 and 5. 11 and 5 in Hardpoint, now in Major 3.
And this is such an important match for both of these squads, because if you take a look at our CDL points, it's a 10-point difference. 130 for Toronto Ultra, 120 for LA Thieves. I'm pretty sure if LA Thieves win this match, they jump all the way up to 4th. They're right now sitting in 8th, and with losing that first Hardpoint, now you're going into triple brilliance. We watched them take this versus OpTic Texas yesterday, but this is Toronto Ultra. This is their best search and destroy map. They have so many play calls on this one, and then even the control, that is going to be their best map as well. So obviously starting off slow are going to be the LA Thieves. They need to try to find some success versus the best search and destroy team that we currently have here.
Without a doubt, my friend. Look at the video, man. It looks beautiful. The sea of white and purple, sporting their boys and happy to watch them walk away with that first game. And really, when we talk about this venue, they've been able to watch the LA Thieves. It is no surprise. I mean, as odd as it sounds, they have been seeing success despite winning that opening Hardpoint. I think that makes it 5 opening HPs in a row now that the LA Thieves have lost, and we continue to talk about their performance in Search Destroy. Jay, it just feels like you never know what you're going to get when it comes down to the Thieves.
You never know. But when you take a look at our S&D top performers, 1.24 from Mr. Insight. You know what he's capable of. 1v2s, 1v3s, puts himself in the corner, gets great timing every single time. The guy is a man on a mission in Search and Destroy. And on the opposite side, Envoy, 1.09. We know how aggressive he can be. Multiple first bloods underneath his belt. And he needs to answer this call right now to not put himself down 0-2 in this series, because in the last 10 Search and Destroys, Toronto are 9-1.
Oh my God.
Currently at Major 3. They have 3 players who are top 10 in overall KD. And by top 10, I mean 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be Insight right on top with a 2.4. Cammy right behind him with a 1.8. And then CleanX as the third with a 1.4. This team has been absolutely stacked and dominating Search and Destroy.
That's absolutely horrifying, honestly. Like, we're not talking about a 1-2 punch, we're talking about a 1-2-3 punch. Everybody going off for Ultra. That is a crazy stat, man.
Insane.
That is some wild stuff from the Toronto end, but as we said, when it comes down to the LA Thieves, you just don't know what to expect. I think Toronto comes into this Search Destroy winning their last 8 in a row. So we could be talking, if they continue to advance in the tournament, they could be creeping up on that record that LAG set at Major 2. They're gonna have to get through this Thieves roster, like we said, when it comes to land, are different beasts. But more specifically, loading into this Berlin, Jay, what do the numbers look like?
54% on offense for Toronto, 42% on their defensive rounds. But the biggest thing that I took away when I'm looking at the numbers is that on both sides, they have a 50% chance at retaking on both sides when it's a 4v4. So that's going to cause some problems if you're LA Thieves. You need to make sure when you're getting that bomb planted towards B, you need to successfully watch your flank and not allow your setup to be broken. As here we go, Toronto. Trying to clutch up in the Search and Destroy. We're going to have the Thieves on the attacking to start. Yesterday, watching the Thieves on this map, the way that they started to come back versus OpTic Texas was simply slowing down their gameplay. But Toronto are a completely different beast. It's going to be an all-out attack towards the speed bomb to start.
Yeah, man, totally different beast. A lot of different looks, a lot of different angles. Bance very commonly known to rush up toward the docks, and he will remain somewhat slow to kick off this round. Thankfully for Thieves, they do find the first blood, and Bance as well does get handled. Bomb down and quickly. It is Insight left in a 1v4. We call him one of the most clutch players in the league, but that is a beautiful start there for LAT.
Textbook round right there from LAT. Teamwork makes the dream work. They find that first blood and it did not drop any players on their side. 4 up, 4 down. Pretty sure they even planted that bomb. They didn't need to, it doesn't matter. You got a guy that's committing towards the flank, but way to start if you're LAT in this search and destroy up 1-0.
As we said, LA Thieves, well seasoned on Berlin, a massive W yesterday over OpTic Texas, down 4-1 on this very map and mode. And that is what brought them back in the series, and it very well could do the same here. But we're still early on Berlin. Toronto will take their first look at the attacking side. And with Thieves on the other end, it's going to be a quick engagement through P5. 2 players strong there for the LA Thieves. Kenny and Envoy, the duo, able to work together to accomplish that first kill. But Cammy, on reply, now brings it to a 3v3.
Yeah, Cammy knew he had Kenny trapped in that corner. So now in a 3v3, you're going to have 2 players from Ultra. He's trying to approach that A bomb. Bomb is going to be down mid P5. Now they do go positioning of Draza, but Envoy finds one, but does get traded. So now in the 2v2, Draza and Octane versus Cammy and Insight, the battle of the ARs.
Oh, Cammy, he's able to find another. Draza, it's all up to him. Spots the first, great pistol shots. Coordinated onto Cammy now, or rather coordinated onto Insight. Now a 1v1 versus Cammy, 25 seconds on the clock. Let's see what Cammy elects to do.
I think Cammy might have spotted him on the cross. So you know that Draza, he's gonna put himself in position to check this bomb, but the timing, he's gonna have to slide towards the back alley. He wins it. Cammy plays it so patient. Watches the cross as he crosses back to top plat. You know that Draza has to check the bomb and then eventually commit towards the rotation, but gets the timing, snaps onto him, and wins the huge one-on-one to tie it up at 1.
That is a bad man. We thought he was gonna get, I mean, just overall screwed by the timing. He checks both ways before crossing and says, wait a second, I think I just saw Draza on my side. A great snapper comes through from Cammy. That is a hat trick in the round. And now brings Toronto to a level heading as we head into round number 3. LA Thieves back on the attack, and CleanX has found himself in a great position.
This is such a great spot from CleanX. He is gonna be able to take down one, and the team shots from him and Bance now forced to an immediate 4v1, and what an adjustment right there from Ultra. They said first round you caught us off guard at that B site. We send 1 player, but they commit 3 players towards this site. CleanX puts himself in a great spot, gets Kenny 1 shot, and then snaps onto Draza as well. Bance with the team fires to take them down. Great mid-round adjustments. That's something that we saw Toronto do all year last year.
One thing too, I mean, it looks exactly like middle alley on Tuscan. When CleanX goes in for that ace, obviously he only cleans up 1 there, but it just looks the exact same way. Thieves get caught off guard, and you mentioned it earlier, you just never know when CleanX is gonna make a play like that. You never know the routes when it comes down to this Toronto team. So difficult to try and predict. And speaking of the Great Dane, he was hungry for a flank. Thankfully for Draza, he will distance him back for now. As Toronto look to get collected.
CleanX
or something.
He's just trying to at least get some information of these players trying to be aggressive through A. See if anyone's gonna be at least give up their position. As 2 players from Toronto, they're actually gonna attack right onto fire. They're gonna be able to find that first blood onto Octane. Now they know that 1 player is gonna be trapped in towards B. Insight and Cammy combined for 2, and that is 2 back-to-back flawless rounds from Ultra. Taking their time, getting the information, game plan on point.
I think I just woke up. He just came out of the flag. I was like, what just happened? What did I just miss? Yeah, these rounds are going incredibly fast. My goodness, what an array and a setup there for Toronto. And that's, what is that, 5 in a row?
Yeah, Cammy's on a 5-3-2, so if you are LA Thieves, you need to make sure that you're shutting this player down. You do not want to allow him to earn this glide bomb, but look at the team streak. 2 flawless back-to-back rounds from Ultra. Let's now put them up 3-1. Now this is what LAT, we saw them do this yesterday versus OpTic. 2-2 spread, trying to catch a player being aggressive.
See if they can find that timing. Cammy is able to find the first blood last round. Does spawn Octane toward top 3. And also has some visuals on the Envoy. That is very valuable information, and he will find the kill on top of it. 1 away from the glide. Toronto with the first blood, and inside he has got 2 players both surrounding him, but they will win their ones. Thieves rush right into the man advantage.
Oh, but Octane still holds down that top 3. He's gonna be able to shut down Cammy off of that spree. As Bance does take down 1, eventually the trade is gonna be there. That was just good work from Kenny and Draza, combining for both of those kills at A site. You have 1 player commit towards that back alley, and then a huge one-on-one. One by Draza versus Insight on bomb. In the 3v2, doesn't force now Octane to give up his positioning towards top 3. He has all of middle map cut off. And unfortunately, Cammy does get taken down, so no glide bomb earned. The LA Thieves stop the bleeding for a little while.
Kenny yesterday, in this very situation, on Berlin Search and Destroy versus OpTic, talked about how we were just not listening to comms early in that Search and Destroy. That's what caused us to have a slow round. And that last one, you see the comms are flowing. They have to win their ones. They have to keep in mind where pesky players like CleanX, Cammy, Bance could all be hiding. And they're able to handle business. Now 3 rounds to 2, Toronto with the advantage. We'll see if they can expand upon it. Some great shots coming through from Kenny, but it does not shut down. CleanX escapes with a handful of HP, and Bance does not have that same luxury. He falls by the nade.
Yeah, that was Envoy calling out the cross, lining up the team nade with him and Octane to find that first blood. So now with bomb down, 45 seconds to work with. And that Envoy trying to at least creep his way up towards B. To be the safety net for his team. He finds that pick onto Cammy. Now in the 4v2. Look at the positioning of CleanX. CleanX in a great spot, but he gets taken down by Kenny. So now in the 1v3 is going to be Insight. He is a tremendous clutcher. But 1v4. Not going to give that one up easy. 2 rounds from Ultra, responded by 2 rounds from the LAT to tie it up at 3.
The fans behind them. LAT answer back with 2 of their own. As we said, known to be a very momentum-heavy team in these Search and Destroys. We'll see if they can make it another. Go up here in this Berlin. Some great shots established early from Bance, but ultimately no kills. Tosses out a nade, says a prayer, and draws it thankfully. Does dodge the nade. Fire out his Envoy. With to plant down the objective. First player that's going to be in the ear's distance is Bance. Meanwhile, it's CleanX for the first. Insight and Co look to collapse upon the bomb site now.
Now in the 4v3, they do find that first blood onto Kenny. Player playing on an island, but you still know that 1 player is going to be in towards site. Envoy at least trying to get out with his life. Or at least take down 1. This CleanX just going to slide his way on, and he does find that kill onto Envoy. Now in the 3v2, you know that both players are going to be back full house. CleanX does get him 1 shot. Down to 2v2, Cammy goes massive, and Bance finds the other kill as well. A successful retake from Ultra. I said it before the map even started, they have a 50% chance at retaking a bomb in a 4v4 situation. They find that opening blood, they pinch it on towards that water side, and they successfully get the defuse. Now up 4-3.
Now up 4 rounds to 3, and like we said, in situations like that, it's where this Toronto team sees their success. Been together for such a long time, and they have been through it all. So many discussions on whether or not players should be dropped. Is this the right team anymore? Moving into Vanguard. Do we have the right set of 4 in this game? But it just feels like when you think about one, you think about all of them. Great spot there for Toronto. They will end that bit of momentum for Thieves. CleanX in a very valuable position. Makes his way through bottom fire and has not been spotted. Great reaction onto Envoy. A quick little haircut for the man. But thankfully for Thieves, Octane replies back into 3 versus 3.
3 versus 3, but they still don't know the positioning of CleanX. Being such a nuisance in towards fire. He is gonna get sniffed out by Draza. Great shots, but Insight immediately with the answer. Now in a 2v2, if you're Toronto, you have full control of A. You can have Draza and Octane committing towards that flank. Bomb is gonna get planted. They're not gonna get here in time. He should be able to stay alive here.
to be able to do so. Drazah trying to be incredibly careful. Look through every bit of cover that you can. You never know where they could be hiding. They'll look to make the push toward the back alley. Toronto, are they going to be prepared for it? Watching over each other's backs. It is Insight to answer for the first. Drazah now brings it to a 1v1, and it's the pistol. Oh my goodness. How about the clutch plays out of the Alaskan Assassin? Looking like the frigid freak out here, now brings it to a 4-4. It looked like Toronto had that one in the bag. Let's watch it again, Jay.
These are just some great shots onto Insight, and before Octane gets taken down, pretty sure he does some damage to Bance, so makes that gunfight a little bit easier. Drazah able to clutch up for the squad, tie it up at 4. A big momentum round right there for that young man. Now it's going to be who's going to be able to make more of these adjustments mid-round. And LA, once again with this 2-2 spread, just going to play it patient.
How many times have we talked about where Drazah is that X factor? I think he dropped like 11 kills in that Search Destroy versus OpTic. Regardless, he has been the guy for them. A great first blood coming in from Insight. Drops down Kenny and Drazah, trying to work off a bit of information. And speaking of it, I think Envoy as well. Spots him, fires at a few bullets. CleanX returns some fire as well. And with such, Envoy looks to sneak through the setup. We're just going to run right into Bance. He's going to run right into Bance, drops him.
And then Drazah finds the second onto Cammy. So now in the 3v2, LA Thieves have the man advantage. Your Insight. Just have to hold down your positioning towards Plat. Allow your teammate and CleanX to try to work this flank position. Commit towards the bomb. He gets taken down. 3-on-1 is not an easy gunfight. Now it's on CleanX on the flank. Trying to hit a couple shots to not let this bomb go down, but going to be a difficult task to get done.
Not going to be easy for the great Dave, but what a clutch it could be. First one runs on out. Aggression. Oh, it's going to be punished for a moment. Oh my word. It looked like CleanX had something brewing, but LAT just in too many bodies.
And right there from Ultra, Insight finds that first pick towards aPlat. He's their island player. Once he gets that kill, I wouldn't commit towards the flank. You have the man advantage, just allow them to plant the bomb and then play the retake. That was just a lot of solo plays right there that eventually got taken down. Once Bance commits towards back warehouse, Octane reads him, eventually has Envoy to reflank it. It's usually rounds we do not see Ultra make. Now LA Thieves are going to put themselves at game point, trying to tie the series up at 1, and an all-out aggressive attack coming in from Ultra at A.
Toronto eager to send us to that round 11. Is it going to be granted as Cammy will strike with the first? Great moment for them on attack as they'll have to be prepared. The flank could be brewing. Out of Envoy, more specifically for Kenny. He sneaks through P5, nobody. It's watched in the back, and how about the shots? Out of Dylan Hannon. A handful to deal with, now levels it. 3 versus 2 advantage for Thieves. However, bomb goes down. LAT with the numbers. It's a matter of who is going to strike, and Bance right on call comes through with the big one.
2v2. He does spot Kenny. 25 seconds to work with. All you want to do is play your life because Octane is going to be in a huge 1-on-1 versus Cammy. Cammy does have the advantage. Some more early shots, but Octane goes big. Now in a 1v1, Bance versus Octane.
Is it going to do the damage? It's not going to do the damage. Bance, can he get here in time?
Gotta go.
Bance, can he get here in time? Here he comes. Oh, he does it! Bance will come through and send us to a round 11. Octane, inches away from locking up this Search Destroy and sending us to control. But take a look at how close, Jay.
Such a great play from Bance. In the 3v2, he finds that first blood. Just attacks through hallway, then into 2v2. He takes down Kenny. And then right there when it turns into a 1v1, he throws that detonate, or at least stalls some time, and gets there before he commits to the defuse. But now here we go, round 11, you see the records. Ultra have a little bit more ice.
More ice in their veins, and it very well could have something to do with the climate. Here we are.
Uh-oh, he might have...
Envoy always looks to strike. That's also gonna be the bomb. Dropped early. CleanX able to level things for the time, and oh my goodness! What a shot from Cammy! Cuts down Envoy, who isn't the biggest of positions, but Drazah has got a shoulder waiting for CleanX. 2 versus 2.
AR battle once again. Drazah's positioning is gonna get given up. So now that bomb is gonna go down. 2v2. Inside and Cammy. Drazah and Octane once again gonna commit towards that late flank. Inside's gonna back all the way up. Put himself in a great spot to at least spot Octane. Early shots from Octane, not able to pick up the kill, but Røkkr time is dwindling down, only 30 seconds. He has to find this one.
What he's trying to just delay. He's trying to just delay. Shoots him to the bottom of the rail. Somehow staying alive. Eventually dealt with, but has he bought Cammy enough time? Cammy trying to hit the route. Trying to hit the route on the flank. Aware of the timing. Incredibly careful. Through the doors. Drops one. Drazah on the other side. Just has to play the time. And it will be Toronto coming up clutch again.
9 in a row in this game mode. Show tremendous ice in these final 2 rounds. Right there in the 2v2. You see both the LA Thieves players commit towards the flank. The Insight just does a great job of stalling out the clock as much as he can before he eventually gets taken down. And then that is what you call a next level play coming in from Cammy. He knows that both of these players are coming from the train side, gets the timing through hallway, and then sets up the repinch. Once he finds that first goal, he knows, unless Drazah is standing on that bomb defusing, I secure this round. Kind of throws an extra peek at it, kind of got me scared a little bit, but a great player to clutch up that round for Ultra all the way in round 11. Now puts them 6-2 in round 11s. Now up 2-0 in this series. Ultra not messing around today.
Man, that last little peek that Cammy makes just over the top of the steps.
That's it, that's all you need.
Just to make sure.
Peekaboo.
I mean, it draws, maybe connects maybe 1 more bullet, maybe 2 more bullets tops. We are talking about a clutch for the ages, but how about the plays out of Toronto to come up big in these late game situations? As we said, man, they can just feel the crowd on their side. Now up 2-0 in this series. What's the search and destroy record now? You said 9-0?
This is 9 straight search and destroys. What's LAG's?
10-0? 10 or 11, something like that.
All right, that's the record. They might break it here. At their homes, at their own major, they're gonna break it.
It's very possible. It's very possible. And who knows? Maybe it could happen in this series. It is all going to be dependent on what LA Thieves that we get heading into this next control. They are going to need to come out with some fire. They have been down before. We'll see if they can make it happen again. Championship Sunday has had it all so far, and does it have another incredible series lined up, another incredible comeback lined up as well. Folks, when we come back after the break, it is time for Berlin Control.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Game Fuel. Victory in a can. Upgrade your game with a Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Championship Sunday, the final day here at the Toronto Major. An incredible and wonderful crowd awaits to see the victor of our current match going down between Toronto Ultra and the LA Thieves. It is Ultra coming out of the gates hot, a search and destroy victory highlighted by this very play, the Scuff play of the game, more specifically coming in from Bance.
And right here, when Bance be's aggressive towards middle hallway, that's the biggest thing, is that he knows that they're coming from that side, but just pushes on and finds that first kill. Then in the 1v1, you see he throws that detonate towards bomb, gives him enough time to fully wrap through the middle of the map.
Come on!
Just those are the plays right there that Benjamin Bance has been doing all year long for this team. He doesn't have to get the kills. He's flipping those spawns for them in hardpoint. He's always the route man, and right there you see it pays off. Route man got paid right there in that round.
He does, man. And how often do we see teams kind of fall under the pressure, especially being in front of a crowd like this where you have to win those back-to-back attacks? As we said, Toronto just feels like a team that is well-seasoned for moments like this one. Not only was it a search-destroy victory, but it was also a game-one hardpoint victory as well. Jay, now we come into this control. Your instant reactions in terms of what do we expect to see from the LA Thieves? It feels like it's almost an impossible question to answer, considering how LAT are sometimes amazing and sometimes, well, maybe not so great, but what do you expect to see out of these boys here in this Berlin control?
Just gonna be hard to find some momentum in this series if you're LATs. Obviously that first map, you let that one go. You were in the lead a majority of that first map, and eventually you close it out towards the end, not winning it. And then that search and destroy all the way in around 11, multiple rounds where they find themselves in a 3v2. But the teamwork from Toronto Ultra came out on top, and they lose that one. Now they just need to find some new source of energy. Coaches need to tell them something. We also need to see what Kenny can give to me on this map, because we watched him yesterday versus OpTic Texas. 30-17 was really where he started to turn around for this team. Currently down 0-2 in this series, backs against the wall, win or go home situation. Toronto Ultra do have a better record, sitting at 5-1. They're better on their attacking rounds, they're better on their defensive rounds. But if LA Thieves can bring that slaying ability that they showed yesterday versus OpTic Texas, we're in for a good one.
Without a doubt, my friend, as you said, I feel like the spotlight, without a doubt, is going to be its most brightest on Kenny. It's a Berlin where he's going to be able to have that AR out the majority of the time. Especially here in this respawn, we are into it nice and early, and LAT come out on top in the overwhelming trade. They go to that B zone here off the rip. Not an uncommon strategy, but how about the team nade out of Toronto? Wow. And LAT are running wild, running rampant, quickly inside of the base. Envoy starting things off 5-0. An excellent beginning right now from the Dark Prince, and just like that, that B zone is captured in 15 seconds.
That had to be the best break off I've ever seen on this map so far to complete that beat point, and already down by 10 lives are going to be the Ultra. LA Thieves and Envoy starting off this game hot, already earns that glide bomb. They fully pushed out towards lower docks. If you're Ultra, you just basically have to get out of spawn, but LA Thieves have 2 players on point. It's going to start going fast.
Especially when Envoy's holding down the other side of the map. I mean, when there's a flank opportunity, he is there. Draza is able to take down 2, so while Envoy falls, the Thieves' front still remains very, very strong. Draza now on 5-0. Just take a look at the lives. Take a look at the lives, 24-11. As Draza also starting things off 6-0, and you can kiss that round goodbye. 1 glide bomb and 1 kill away from now 2.
That was the best attacking round I've seen so far in Berlin Control out of any team. They find every single kill from the front at B point. And even though when Cammy finds that 2-piece, you see how aggressive Envoy is. He knows he throws a detonate towards their top plat, cuts off the player running out of top fire. That was just a flawless round right there from start to finish from LA Thieves. Definitely a momentum round for them.
Yeah, and we know, right, we've seen Thieves on Berlin many a times, even in that series versus Minnesota, the one that we saw 5 attacking round victories. We know they've got the ability to do it, and now we'll see their strength on the defensive end. Toronto, always a question when it comes down to Berlin control, really for any team, but more specifically, the boys in purple, what the strat is going to look like. They send really everybody somewhat strong over toward that A zone. Majority of bodies favoring Thieves as they look to attack from all angles. The first tick granted, but LAT coming out and then some on the engagements. Drazah yet to drop as well.
So much map control right now. Look at the positioning from Drazah. Not forcing all of Toronto, trying to overextend through water side, but that's going to be 3 down. They're able to clear out that A point. Now they know that with that spawn, one player is going to be pushed out all the way in their base. Insight going to be the player to at least try to play for him. But on the opposite side of the minimap, you see Bance, the route man, already going to put himself in a position to set up a flank.
Here's the moment. Here's the moment for Drazah. Oh, not able to find what could have been the second glide bomb from LA Thieves. You could talk about, well, you know, they've already got one. No, 2 glide bombs would be terrifying to deal with if you are Toronto. Still yet to fully capture that A zone. They spawn up and say, hey, everybody head on forward. Let's rush into this B zone, try to catch the Thieves off guard. But right when that happens, it is the turret toward the outside. Doing some work from the back. Drazah doing the damage from the front. Kenny pulling out the 40 and seeing quite a bit of success so far here on Berlin. Are the entirety of the Thieves and Envoy on the rotation, aware of Toronto's next play.
But CleanX with that huge 2-piece now is going to allow them to be aggressive in through trains. He's just trying to be a nuisance, but he does get taken down. You still have one player from LA towards this A point. Octane gets shut down, but they still have a glide bomb to work with. Bance goes to at least finds that kill. Now the A point is going to be captured. Time extended by a minute, but you're still down by 4 lives.
Still down by a decent amount. Kenny getting a bit of information. They know. And this play is being made toward the street as Envoy gets taken down. It is Kenny. Consistent shots with the MP40. We talked about how expected the automaton to be in his hands. Not happening. An 8-5 start for him. 8-2 for Drazah. 15-7 for Envoy. 3 down. And what could be an opening? Maybe for Toronto. Cammy's able to wipe away 1. He will wait for the boys to join alongside of him. He's doing a great job of being the cutoff man right now, Jay.
Doing a great job, but Drazah still in their opposing spawn. Taking down players off spawn. Envoy does find a huge kill, but they're still on the point. First segment is going to be complete. The pinch is going to be here. Oh. Bance reads it. So now all you have to do is just stay alive. That's going to be 2 dead. You have one player from Drazah on the pinch. It's going to get read by CleanX, not able to pick up that kill, but the second tick is going to be done. Oh, you need this tick if you want to try to compete in this map still. Trains going back and forth. Cammy still alive from back alley. Only 3 lives remaining.
3 lives left. So when CleanX does get dropped, it's all going to be on to Cammy and Insight now. Hope and a prayer. It's going to be necessary to point like this.
That's 3 down.
That's going to be 3. They somehow find all 3 just like that. One player's going to be on the flank. That one player's going to be on the flank. It's going to be Kenny. Deals with 1. Oh, on the inside, all by himself. Pistol out, handles as much as he could. And what looked to be a very quick round toward the NJ leaves LAT with just 2 players left.
So now LAT secure that defense, but if you're Toronto, at least you get 5 ticks of progression. So now they're down by 1 segment. Just need to come out and have a strong defensive round. You cannot give up this B point the way that you did in that very first round. As right now, everybody on the side of Toronto Ultra are sitting negative. On the opposite side, everyone positive for the Thieves. This time, Insight with that first blood is already going to slow down their push.
Already able to slow it down. Toronto sent all 4 members strong toward this B zone, knowing how valuable it is. And maybe the calls that LAT look to make off the rip. Envoy feels like he's going to get dealt with here soon, and he will. So LAT run right back to the spawn and realize, hey, now it's time to attack over at that A zone. Let's go ahead and get the regular objective done on this map. And doing so, in stride right now are LAT. Nobody from Toronto really able to advance past that 50-yard line. Bance started off this game incredibly slow, has absolutely picked it up. Despite the last round not going their way, he was a big reason for why it got the way that it did. Octane with some great shots toward the top continues to allow for that zone to move.
Second tick is going to be complete, but you do have one player going on that flank towards that B point, and Drazah able to stop that clock. You see his teammates starting to transition over, everyone cutting through the middle of the map. You have one player in Cammy trying to go for the pinch, but he gets taken down, and this is a beautiful rotation coming in. The pinch is here. Kenny, unfortunately, runs out of bullets. He's trying to stay alive between the pillars, but CleanX finds that 2-piece. First tick is already going to be done. Octane also earns a glide bomb. These are just swarming up, looking like their guns are shooting beams right now.
They are indeed. Looking great right now for LAT. Throughout this control, both teams, a lot of history when it comes down to Berlin control, and we know, right, when it comes to the Thieves, the respawns typically are not a worry. I know Hardpoint is obviously up in the air right now, but they could advance through this series. It seems like the strengths in all of the game modes are starting to come together. They've got 2 glide bombs. Here comes the first out of Sam LaRue. Sends it forward, gets a bit of information. Thankfully for Toronto, no kills. Minute 15 on the clock, 2 more ticks to go for LAT as 3 hit the deck.
Make it all 4, beautiful pinch coming in from Cammy. To now find himself on a 3-3 spots Envoy. Unfortunately, can't take down Octane. Now with a minute to work with, Ultra take control of these lives. Have to hold on the defensive side for a little bit longer. CleanX, great shots to pick up that kill onto Draza. He's on a 3 spree. And just keep in mind, Envoy still has that glide bomb in his back pocket.
He does indeed. We'll see if LAT can get the map positioning that they want. Heading into what could be a moment where you look to bring in the streak. Envoy, nice and comfortable toward the back alley with the rest of the teammates. Gonna apply some pressure toward the front of the train station. Nobody watches the back, and just like that, here comes the swarm, here comes the attack. LAT, oh, Draza! What could have been a nice kill for him, I guess. Sets up Octane to maybe do the bit on the other side. Thieves not out of this one just yet. They've got 1 more push lined up and ready to go. Could it be the first round on the board for Toronto? Searching for some life. Searching for an answer. Here in this swing mode. 1 tick granted for LAT. Here they come, Jay.
Last 10 seconds. Just have to hold strong if you're Toronto. Great nades, great team shot to at least find that opening 2-piece. Inside with the third, only 1 player left in the position. It's gonna be Kenny, but with 3 seconds left, he just has to rush on it. Yes, to get on the point, but Ultra make the adjustments from their round number 1. Come out and secure that defense. And now I'm pretty sure if they close out this offense, they're currently down by 5 segments. So they had to complete both of these points to go defense round number 5.
In Toronto, wow us again. It is absolutely possible when it comes down to all 4 of these players trying to get this series out of the way. No doubt about it, a long day ahead for whoever advances through this series. Toronto, keep it casual, keep it normal. Head into this attack. With the point of emphasis being on that A zone, CleanX a great little job to maybe find that quick flanker. It's ultimately LAT who does come out on top in those opening engagements. And we'll see his number 3 is actually making his way over toward the other side. Great little shot from Kenny, and just like that, 3 ball for Toronto. Last minute alive is CleanX.
And unfortunately, he gets taken down. LA Thieves just have way too many bodies at the save point. Winning gunfights. Now they're basically putting them in the spawn trap, knowing that they're consistently spawning at water side. Envoy with the first, but 1 player does slip through, which is going to be CleanX. Potentially cause them problems. He finds that kill onto Octane. If he can find the 2-piece onto Envoy, that can be even better. But Bance takes down that kill. And the first tick is going to be complete.
But Bance, you never know where he's going to strike, where he's going to come from, where he's going to eliminate you from. Great little moment there for him. Wipes away Kenny. Toronto, 30 seconds left. They've got to stop this time, and they've got to stop it soon. Some greater pressure really applied from the top side. Coming down the stairs, Envoy does get taken down. CleanX decides to send himself forward. That is not going to work out for Toronto, so a lack of vision toward the outside. Bance will look to accomplish that now for the team as he will overwatch the cross. Toronto does get that last bit of progress. Another minute added onto the clock, but Jay, it's not a ton of time. We'll see if Toronto can find that opening as they find a few in stride. Here they come.
Not a ton of time to work with, but Bance has found himself in a great position. Now look at how much control they have over trains. They know that at least 1 player is going to be sitting in the back of their spawn. Octane picks up a kill. If you're Bance, you at least trying to find this one. Great shots to pick up that one. They just still have a player in Draza that they have to worry about on the flank. They're able to get on that point and stop the clock. Draza with some great shots to catch a player off spawn. And that's going to be the Thieves, shutting down that first push. Now with the minute left, down by 5 lives. You have to get out of your base if you're Ultra, but you have to try to do it through that water side because of Drod's positioning.
It's a great little angle as well from Kenny. Trying to pepper up Toronto. Don't allow for them to have that united front. Toward the end of this control, Bance does sneak his way through the outer alley. Does find that opening pick. LAT advancing forward. That's going to be 2. That is going to be 3. Kenny's position made aware. And Insight. Oh, he's going to get bad timing. He gets bad timing, but can the rest of Toronto pick up from his shortcomings? Toronto are going to need some magic. They're going to need some magic, and Berlin is full of it. Here we go.
It's Fortnite, Ultra.
They get him all down. LA Thieves, they're going to need a reply. They're going to have to try and slide into this point. Is it going to be a Thieves smoothie today? It looks like it could be. Kenny for the first decides to dive on in. They've got players stacked everywhere. They've got players stacked everywhere, but Bance eventually falls. Oh, Kenny hits him with the 1-2. Now a 2v6. Insight and CleanX. They've got to come up with something special. Vice is able to at least take down 1, and just like that, Insight, the last man alive, will get dropped as well. And LAT, it looked scary for a moment. We thought Toronto had the chance to send it to a round 5, but Thieves will not go away.
Right there, Toronto had the perfect setup. The only thing they did not watch was that secret door. That is where Kenny found his opening. He finds that first kill onto Insight, and then allows his teammates to pinch from top plat. Even though Bance finds that 2-piece, Kenny goes massive on the flank to break their setup. If you're Ultra, you know that everyone's coming off spawn. They're not all gonna attack from top plat. Someone's gonna try to go for a pinch. No one reads it. Kenny picks up those final 4 kills to close out this control. Now for the Thieves, staying alive in this series, playing with nothing to lose. You're down 2-1 now. You're going into a Berlin hardpoint, which is one of your strong suits. And you can just tell, watching the Thieves on that control right there, they were winning a lot of gunfights that they weren't winning in map number 1. Everyone was going positive. Like I said, Kenny makes that play on the flank. If you're Ultra, all you have to do is watch the pinch. But unfortunately, they do not. And now we're finding ourselves going to a map 4.
And I don't know about you, man, but it just felt like the tone center really was that round 1. Yeah. Envoy just comes out and dominates the rest of the team when what is, I want to go and say it, probably the most dominant attack that we have seen on Berlin control since it's been added to the rotation since what, like back at Pro-Am. Just so well coordinated out of LAT. They rode that into the 2-0 start, and while it did get a little close down the stretch, when you look at the stats and they would tell you otherwise, it felt like it was a very well-controlled map. All things considered there from the Thieves. And as you said, they were hitting shots that just didn't look like they had ready over on that Tuscan. And we know the damage that the Thieves can do when it comes down to Berlin. They just did it in this respawn, and they can absolutely do it when it comes down to HP. I feel like it just goes back to Kenny. Definitely. It goes back to Kenny.
Like, he found that opening, man. Like, if you're Ultra, you know that everyone is coming from top plat, but no one was watching secret door. You have one player that was coming off spawn. He's not gonna be able to pick up that cut fast enough. You had 3 players pre-aiming towards top plat. Someone just needed to turn around, and we will be going to a round number 5, but LA Thieves stay alive. Now we're going into a Berlin hardpoint where the LA Thieves are last in break percentage, but second in overall rotation win percentage. And then for Toronto, they only have 1 positive hill on this entire map, and it's that P2. And they're 7th in rotation win percentage. And just based off of the way that I watched LA Thieves play yesterday, even though statistically wise, it says that they're last in break percentage, every single time OpTic, we're trying to set up for P2, for that P4, or even P5, every single time LA Thieves found a successful break by chaining a couple kills together. And you can just tell, with this LA Thieves roster, we expect nothing but greatness. They have great players from start to finish, and now they are so far getting into this series slowly but surely, but they're here.
Yeah, man. I know Ali is somewhere sitting going, this is going to game 5. I just know it because the back-to-back Berlins, what is it, like a 95% win ratio? If you win the Berlin control, you're going on to win the Berlin hardpoint. Of course, for Toronto fans, they're hoping that that streak will end and come to a commanding halt. But what a series that we have got, man. LA Thieves make the statement, and now coming into this HP, it's one that they feel comfortable in. You could say the exact same thing for Toronto, but if we're talking about recency, as we said, I feel like it goes back to Kenny. The reason why I mentioned it a minute ago is because he was the guy who started to get things going for that team. When OpTic Texas was trying to get some momentum flowing in that Berlin HP, he was there to close them out. He finishes off on like an 8 spree. A lot of pressure on his shoulders, as we've talked about. I mean, it feels like he's the #1 player that has been discussed in the CDL throughout LA Thieves' struggles and throughout these past few weeks. He could be the guy that sends us to that map 5 again, Jay.
Yeah, Kenny is definitely the guy I'm looking at, because when you're playing Berlin in the middle of the series, thinking about a player like Kenny, he just recently changes his role to that SMG. On a map like Berlin, we watched him yesterday versus OpTic Texas. He's running around with that AR in his hands where he feels a lot more comfortable. Pretty sure he told me he didn't even call out yesterday. He was just calling people dead the entire time.
He was that cracked?
He was cracked yesterday. You can just tell by the way he was snapping on players. And so far, he makes that play and that control to keep his team in this series. But now if you're Toronto Ultra, you need to let that one go. Obviously, the slaying wasn't there on that control, but it's all going to be about teamwork when it comes down to this one.
It's all about teamwork, and as we said, coming into this series, it is all about confidence, and LAT now have got a bit of it. And obviously, if you're on the side of Toronto, you've got confidence in every gunfight victory that you take. With this crowd being as loud as they are, we'll see if Ultra can deliver a W here and lock up this series. They still sit on series point. I know that Berlin control was entertaining. It was crazy, but because of the solid start for Ultra, they can still walk away with the series here. And will it be that, or do we have a game 5? It is time to find out as we head into Gold P1 here on Berlin. Toronto with the better side of spawns, and they start things off quite nicely on top of that, Jay.
Get the initial 10 seconds, win a couple gunfights is the best way you can do this, as CleanX finds that 2-piece to keep this hill uncontested. All out pressure from LADs from the front. Octane and Draza combined for 2, Octane for the second. So that's gonna be 3 down, a successful break right there for the Thieves. Now with 20 seconds left, you're gonna force Ultra off the rotation, but look at the positioning from Bance. He's already thinking farther ahead.
See what Bance elects to do. I was gonna say Envoy does spot him there in the middle of an engagement over at that next hill, as Draza doing a great job at starting off 3-1, now making 4-1. Rotation is about to be in, and now a quick little 5 in a row for Draza. Now makes it 6, runs right into the staircase. Oh, and he was 1 step away from getting that glide bomb, the quick little 360 spin out of Envoy. A battle and a half going down right now, LAT with the advantage, and just like that, we have got ourselves a tie game, neck and neck Call of Duty here in this game 4.
Tie game with 35 seconds left. Big kills coming in from CleanX to find that 2. Only 1 player left in this position. It's gonna be Octane, and this remaining 30 should go in favor of Toronto. You still have LADs trying to put pressure on, knowing that they have the spawns for P3. Inside gonna be the cutoff man, and that's 2 dead. Now look at Bance. Bance is gonna be able to sneak his way into bottom fire, but Envoy catches him before he finds that kill. Now it's CleanX's turn, as he's gonna be able to at least find this kill onto Draza with only 10 seconds left. Big gunfights off the rotation.
Big gunfights off the rotation, and while Toronto are making a sizable dent here and there, LAT have been on the recovery, and you can just kind of tell the temperament of both of these teams. Toronto want to get aggressive, utilize those SMGs, while Thieves maybe a little bit slower in terms of pace. They are great at setting up those trades, but just like that, here come Toronto knocking on the door, and how about the quick little break? Draza puts in some good damage, but ultimately it is Cammy who comes out on top. The 5 streak ended, but now Insight instantly jumps right back in the HP. Toronto with the close spawns, but Thieves, the entire team is here. Stuns, nades, automaton shots fired out throughout this very valuable money hill. As CleanX just towards the outskirts, Toronto still with those close spawns are not getting the time.
They have to get in. Kenny's just the cutoff man, catching these players off spawn. This is the best case scenario right now if you're the Thieves, as Kenny's gonna back his way up, knowing that they're trying to attack this through lower docks. Cammy with great shots, Bance finds to at least find the remaining 10 seconds. Now off the rotation. You're gonna have LAD set up properly. Gonna be the guys initially with the time. So you're gonna have 1 player pushing through trains, 2 players committing towards that flank. They're trying to flip these spawns now.
Gonna flip the spawns, then got Bance and Cammy toward the warehouse, looking to make the flank. Cammy breaks through the doors and to get met with a fun amount of fire, thankfully. has one answer on to Envoy. Looks to take down Drazah as well. How about the start from Cammy? Trying to pick up his boys, 12 and 7 as he does hit the dirt. Trades continue to be exchanged, but it's the ARs that are just firing a little bit better from LAT. Another lead change in Toronto, spawning in the back. They've got plenty of bodies.
Yeah, Toronto just has to not allow them to have this remaining junk time, but you also want to try to flip these spawns and take control of top plat. That's why you see Cammy going on the route that he's going on. There's going to be 3 dead in the feed. Octane and Drazah shooting absolute lasers right now. Try to hold down P5 positioning, but Insight sneaks his right through. Cammy with the second. Your Ultra, if you can try to at least get some good time off of this and eventually flip those spawns, look at the route that Insight is making, he should be able to come out behind his player mid.
We talked about this a ton as LA Thieves continue to dominate at P5. Toronto, they like to play the long game. Oftentimes it's the P5s where they struggle because they're so reliant on trying to flip the spawns. We'll see if that strategy does in fact work out for them as Bance looks to hit a route. LAT do reach the century mark, but Mr. Benjamin has got something prepared. Got something ready, something spicy. Thank you for the 2-piece. Toronto right back in the hill as Bance looks to catch fire. 4 down instantly out of the Thieves.
Now Bance, just want to at least try to get as much time as you can before he does get taken down by a nade. But he sets his teammates up now to chain into this P1 hard point. CleanX not missing. Doesn't matter if it's the 40 or the automaton in his hand. So far sitting at 16 and 16. Leads the team in engagements. They're putting a lot of pressure, not allowing any LADs players to try to set up a pinch through the middle of the map. We're even beating people up. Bance is on a mission right now. Ultra are going to be able to take the lead.
Bance is trying to catch some fire. It is an all-out brawl here on Berlin, bringing fists to a gunfight. Who would have thought you'd come out on top a majority of the time? A back-and-forth battle, 30 seconds left. If we have seen already the first set of rotations, constant lead changes, and Insight is hitting some beams, 14 and 9 more specifically on the force spree. It just feels like somebody's gonna earn a glide bomb at some point in this game, and it's just a matter of who it's going to be. Insight looks to take the route, knowing how valuable that his life is, as the rest of Toronto look to make the play toward the alley. Insight trying to stay up, does get dropped. Back and forth we go, Jay. Couldn't be closer than this.
Toronto Ultra win a huge one-on-one versus Kenny though. Now he properly set up off the rotation. Lead switch once again. It's now all out attack from LA Thieves through the middle of the map. Insight with the first, but Cammy's gonna be here for the assistance. They combine for 3. 1 player left towards that back door. It's gonna be Envoy. He's just gonna play this slow, try to allow his teammates to get into play. Finds that opening kill, but CleanX with the 40 in hand. Leeds plays the trades, kills going back and forth. CleanX and Insight doing everything they can to hold down this remaining dirty. CleanX! Unbelievable gunfight onto Drazah. Final 25, and if you are LADs, you need to flip these spawns. You cannot allow Ultra to chain it to P3.
Oh, CleanX is hitting a beamer on a spree and a half. 5 in a row for the King of Copenhagen, and he is in desperate need of that crown. Looking for it, and oh my God, it's a heat check on the Kenny. Sweat off the brow if you are Kylo Ken. CleanX hits the deck, but he is right off of that spawn. Toronto thinking about the long game. They've got the advantage, and now they've got the spawns as we head in toward fire. What an HP it could be, especially if Thieves can find the break.
Thieves can find the break, but Cammy and the rest of Toronto Ultra cut off every single player. Now with 40 seconds left, Ultra are setting themselves up to close out this series here. That's going to be an all-out pressure from Fire. You just have to win a couple of these gunfights, continuously grow this lead. As trades going back and forth, no one currently getting time, but the Thieves come out on top in the engagements. They get the break.
They get the break exactly when they have to. Bance does fall, and this is the exact same situation that we were in last side of rotations. Toronto had the more favorable spawns, but they got put in the back, somewhat of a spawn trap. Toronto do reach that double century mark, and now they've got a lot of freedom now, Jay. Freedom to make routes, freedom to hit late time as well. As you see the sky cam giving the indicators where Thieves sit at this moment, it has got to be a picture-perfect hold. Toronto knocking on the door, but it is a great spread and setup right now from Thieves.
Great setup so far from Thieves. They're able to find 3 kills. Envoy still causing problems at that P2 area. Now all-out pressure from Ultra. Their main focus is just trying to get these guys off of this hill. But Envoy, the cutoff man, finds himself on a 5 spree. Great shots from CleanX to take him down. CleanX does find 2 as well. Now with 30 seconds left, this has been a great hold from the Thieves. If you're Ultra, you just have to make sure at this point, try not to give them this remaining 20, but your main focus has to be controlling those spawns, keeping control of plat.
And this has been a excellent hold out of the LA Thieves. How many times have we talked about it where it's a struggle? It's a struggle to hold the trains. You would not know it after watching that last hard point back. LAT right back in this game. We now head toward P5. Cammy and CleanX ready and prepared. They've got the spawns for next, and now they've got that early time. LAT once more put in a bind. Somebody has got to make a play. Someone has got to make a route. And Bance is there to shut him down for the first. Trades everywhere.
Doing a great job of at least combining these kills with time. They are trading back and forth between 24 to 189. Great shots from inside to find that kill. Almost finds that one onto Draza. With now 30 seconds left of your Ultra, you have to make sure you keep control of plat. Have someone off the rotation. Oh, Draza was a huge one-on-one versus CleanX, but at least his teammates are still spawning there. Now look at Bance. He's gonna not allow the teammates, or at least LA Thieves, to get any time. That's gonna be 3 dead. Last person on point is gonna be Envoy. With 15 seconds left of your Ultra, you'll take that. You're fully set up for P1.
You will, and it felt like Draza had the route established. He could have flanked through plat, and that could have been the play. Gets a little over dicey, maybe overthinks it. As Toronto, they can smell a W. Kills continue to favor them. 10 more points.
Might be done.
They could move on. LAT starting to feel it, starting to feel the weight.
Gotta go.
This crowd, and that will be it. Tonight, Toronto Ultra have a date with destiny in that elimination final.
What a great series from Toronto Ultra. They win their search and destroy, but the biggest thing is winning 2 hard points. Throughout all of stage 3, they were tied with 2nd place with NYSL for the best team throughout the stage in that mode. They come out here and they take both of them versus a team like LA Thieves. Let me just tell you, Toronto Ultra are getting into their final form. They're dominant in search and destroy, just like they were last year. We're seeing improvements in their hard point every single time. Players going big, people taking routes, winning massive gunfight after massive gunfight. Toronto Ultra trying to do it for the home crowd at their home major. Get it done in 4, and now solidify top 3.
You can just see, you see what it means to the players, you see what it means to the fans to have their squad turning up and looking their best. Right now in Vanguard, you see the final scorecard as that will be the closeout for LA Thieves at this tournament. Put on one crazy show, but it is Toronto's day, as they will stay alive in their own major and advance forward now to the elimination final. Jay, as we take a look throughout the highlights here in this Berlin HP, is there a specific moment? Is there a specific moment where you felt like Toronto had the game? Was there a certain situation that took place, a particular fight, rotation to spawn, etc.?
It definitely was. Was that P2 hardpoint where they were able to get the remaining chunk time and consistently spawn LA Thieves towards warehouse. They were doing a great job just getting every single kill, finding that time, and then once they changed it to P3, you saw how much of a lead they grew. Yeah. Up to like a 70-point lead. They just needed to execute at least one break onto P4 or not give up the majority of that time. And then we know on P5, it's so scrappy. Ultra do the right things. They know that they're not going to get a bunch of time off of that P5 hardpoint. They keep the spawns towards top plat, and we're able to close it out with a beautiful hold on that P1. Let me just say this now. The way that Ultra are playing, especially in their search and destroy, we saw it at the last major. The way that LAG were able to walk away with the championship was by breaking the search and destroy record. Right now, that's 9 S&Ds in a row for this Ultra squad. And you gotta be feeling good now that you're winning hard points as well. You just have to step it up a little bit in that control, especially in that first round. You cannot allow that to happen.
Absolutely, my friend. Like you said, 9 search destroys, and now that makes, I think, 12 and 5 in hardpoint throughout Major 3. It just feels like they are in that Cold War form again. I mean, we've been talking about a number of different teams who have finally eclipsed what it felt like they were last season, and right now Toronto is in their space. They got the crowd on their side. Everybody is starting to really hit new levels. I mean, it's been a consistent effort. It hasn't been one player. It has been a mixture of everybody across these games, man. Toronto are looking like a force moving into this next game.
Oh man, and like they're going up against Atlanta FaZe, right? Who are just coming off of a reverse sweep series, and like Atlanta FaZe did beat them early on in this tournament. They closed it out by winning every single respawn. But one thing right now for Toronto Ultra, they got that S&E in the back pocket. If they can come out and use the teamwork like they just did in that hardpoint versus Atlanta, I have no idea how that series is going to go, but it's going to be a banger for sure, my friend.
It absolutely is. A spicy one indeed. Well, that's going to do it for myself and Jay. We have loved commentating for you guys here in Toronto. You have been a wonderful, wonderful audience today. That's going to do it for us, buddy. And now it's time to send it over to the desk. Veli, boys, take it away.
Landing on steady state, man. You guys have been so great.
Okay.
Hey, no, go away. It's our turn now, all right?
No worries.
Hey, shout out to Toronto Ultra for getting a big win against the LA Thieves. But, man, yo, Chance, looking at Toronto Ultra, even when they were losing in control, they were still in a position to win. It was insane.
I mean, yeah, no, they're a ridiculously good team. Their hardpoint's been figured out. And, like, Los Angeles Guerrillas at Major 2 sort of wrote a playbook. If you just never lose at Search and Destroy, you're good to win a tournament. And if they got 9 in a row, on top of the fact that their record in hardpoint now 12 and 5, like, they are truly godlike.
Yeah, and we got to talk about that last hardpoint as well. Like, that's a hardpoint that Thieves have been great on throughout the weekend. And some of the plays that these guys are making. Bance made 2 huge plays on the P5, just reflanking them, getting a couple of kills, and that's an incredibly risky play to make in that type of situation. If Thieves get any kills pushed up, they flip out the spawns and potentially beat Toronto Ultra on that map. So these are the things that they're confident in doing on the map. He knows his teammates are going to stay alive and hold positioning, so he makes those flanks and makes it happen.
Right, Ali, what are your thoughts about Toronto right now? They're looking good in Respawn, looking good in S&D. I mean, what's next for them?
I said it already that they are looking to be in championship form. I mean, at the beginning of the year, you know, it wasn't one player that we could pinpoint anything on when they were struggling. I know a lot of people would throw in like, oh, maybe Cammy needs to get back into form, but Cammy's actually been probably the most consistent player for this squad. For me, it was Bance and CleanX. I knew what CleanX was capable of when I saw his first debut in Black Ops 4. He was one of the most aggressive, nastiest SMGs I had ever seen, and we were just waiting for him to get comfortable in this game, and I feel like we're seeing that now in Stage 3. And the plays that Bance have been making on the map, I mean, I remember Nameless pointed out, he was like, look at the route that Bance is taking right now just to get them off of scrap time, just to give them more control over the map. It's the plays like that that free up the map for the players like Cammy, like Inside to go off the way that they do.
Right, and we actually have a Scump play the game where Bance was able to clutch a 1v2 in round 10 of Search and Destroy. Yo, Nameless, this guy just doesn't give up at all.
This guy never gives up, man. And you see, like, I was getting a little bit worried towards the end of this clutch. Like, was he going to make it there in time? But, you know, Octane and Kenny did such a weird route in this round. They went all the way around, like, P2 through trains to get the kill. And you see the wide flank that Bance hits. He gets the kill, wraps back around with time. And the nade doesn't even do any damage either, which is the scary part. Then he cleans him up before he can defuse.
I mean, look, you know, it's absurd playmaking potential nonstop, but just the fact that, like, one of the best communicators in the game is also, like, one of your leading SMGs, insane value he provides for his team. And I think main factor why, honestly, I think this team, like, he is the glue for the squad. 100%. Makes everybody better, and the plays he makes on the map are ridiculous. So Bance is my MVP.
Yeah, shout out to Bance, baby. All right, so Ali, coming up next for Toronto Ultra. All right, this is going to be just a marathon. They're going against their rivals from last year, Atlanta FaZe.
And I guess that could almost fall in their favor a bit, right? Because they have the repetition against a squad like this. But again, when we saw Atlanta FaZe earlier, they looked incredible up until Seattle created those clutches. You know what? It was just them abusing a couple of mistakes on the likes of Atlanta FaZe, but those first 2 maps were disgusting from the psychs of the FaZe squad. So Toronto definitely need to be ready for this matchup, but also take advantage from a struggling FaZe, right? Their search and destroys have just not been on point, where Toronto Ultra have looked basically unstoppable in this major.
Yep. Now, I'm Nameless. Let's talk about LA Thieves for a second, okay? We kept it real when it comes to this team this entire time. You got to give it to them, man. They put up a good fight.
Yeah, they made some improvements. I mean, it's really hard to gauge, though, because Toronto did just try to square up with them on triple Berlins. Yeah. And that's where we've seen them have so much success. I don't think anybody in the entire league is going to play them on Berlin Control ever again. I mean, Chance, you were mentioning that as we were watching, like, why would you do that? So they're going to have to expand their map pool for sure going forward. But if they can keep up this search and destroy, they can definitely be a consistent team. That was the mode that was really holding them back. Like, they're talented enough to steal a respawn in these series. So that'll be what I'm looking at going forward.
And And speaking of search and destroy, we actually have a game field tactical play from round 11 as well to close things out. I believe this is where Cammy gets the 1v2. Cammy gets a 1v2 right after his boy Bance.
Honestly, you have to give props to both the players of Inside and Cammy in this. For Inside to stay alive as long as he did, deep trains to just run that clock further down, it just shows the absolute playmaking capability of the players on this Toronto Ultra squad. And Cammy, he doesn't take this gunfight. He knows he has the MP40. He knows he's at a disadvantage. He just tries to get him off the bump.
Wait, the play of the game is really like earlier in the round where Envoy should have had a two-piece and then Cammy absolutely guns him. Like, he was not in position to win that gunfight. Envoy throws a dead nade and he's getting ready to shoot him. Like, Cammy was looking the wrong direction. And Envoy just had like a thumb spasm or something, and Cammy just absolutely smokes him for that gunfight.
It was the fact that Cammy got the last hit marker on Envoy, and he was like, oh, wait, let me go ahead and recheck that, right? But, yeah, moving forward, though, Chance, you're not going to be on the desk for that matchup. FaZe, Ultra, what are your honest thoughts about this?
I mean, dude, I think, like, so these are the only two teams that have, like, kept the same roster through last year, so you can, like, go in depth with their stats of how many times they've played each other. Atlanta FaZe has, like, an 11-1, a 12-1 record against them. Like, it has been absurd. They have their number. They have the confidence in this matchup. I'd say the S&D might be the secret to success for Toronto, but, I mean, dude, if I was a betting man, like, unless the crowd goes buck wild to, like, inspire these guys, it's almost kind of hard to not pick FaZe.
I'm telling you, if Drake pulls up, Toronto might win this series.
Oh, Toronto 5-0 in the finals, baby. You already know the deal. But also, for those of you at home, it's time for you to watch and earn as well. You can look good while you're slaying out in lobbies. Look at that Maple Boss Weapon Blueprint. We've been talking about this all week long. My question is, what are you guys waiting for? Go ahead and get these.
I've been watching all weekend long, so if I haven't earned it by now, I'm going to be angry. But yeah, that camo is absolute fire. I can't wait to get home, getting ranked, and Guns of Fools.
Just link your YouTube account and watch the show to start earning these rewards right now. But also, whip out your cell phone right now and scan this QR code because, hey, if you're a trash can, like, nameless, who you calling Buns this time around?
I mean, yeah, I love chances.
I love chances. Right, so you can also get signed up for the CDL newsletter as well. So, Nameless, Toronto Ultra, I want them to go to the finals, man. This crowd, I feel like they're going to have to really bring it.
I'm sure you're not the only one in this crowd that wants them to go to the finals. It's going to take a lot of good gameplays, some big plays out of Bance. It's going to be exciting for sure, man. If that search and destroy can stay on point, they can win this series.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Toronto fan as well, you must be ecstatic right now because the only thing in the way for the hometown team from reaching the finals is one more game. That's against their rivals from last year, the Atlanta FaZe. We'll catch you guys on the other side, and the winner of that matchup as well will be facing off against the Seattle Surge that are sitting by themselves in the final match of the day. I can't wait. Championship Sunday has been a banger so far. We'll see you guys after the break to continue on with the last day of CDL May the 3rd.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Mountain Dew. The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Zenni. Armor your eyes with Block's gaming glasses starting at $24 by visiting zenni.com/CDL.
They kill me on Friday, bury me on Sunday, mourn for me Monday, well, then you gotta let me go, then you gotta let me go. They kill me on Tuesday, bury me on Wednesday, mourn for me Thursday, then you gotta let me go, then you gotta let me go.
Weapons hard, buckets.
Somebody say a prayer for me. They kill me on Friday, bury me on Sunday, then you gotta let me go.
Welcome back to the 6th.